Hello, hello. Listen, happy Self Care Saturday. Happy Resurrection Weekend. Come through, Jesus. Y'all wasn't expecting Coach C at this time. I know. I know. I'm doing what everybody else doing on this day after Good Friday. This is our rest day. Today supposed to be a rest day. Okay? This supposed to be the rest day. This is the day that Jesus was in the grave. All right? So we supposed to be resting technically. This is supposed to be our quiet day. And so, hello and welcome. Welcome. My name is Coach T. My name is Coach T. And I am a mental health wife coach and marriage consultant. I coach Christian wives who are going through a season of hardship in their marriage, and they have biblical reasons. They have biblical reasons to exit out of that marriage. And so I coach those wives. I coach those wives to stay the course as they are trusting God. Today's live is going to be a little different than normal. Y'all see the title. Y'all see that title. Not going to keep you long at all because y'all probably already like, Coach T, where are you going with this? Like, where are you going with this? Now, I didn't want to have to eat this in front of y'all. I was kind of, nibbling on this a little bit. This is cheers to... We ain't celebrating the Easter egg, okay? We ain't celebrating the Easter eggs over here. We ain't celebrating the Easter bunny, all right? We celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Come on, Jesus. And it just so happens that it got a nice little, egg on here, the little fancy thing, and little fancy little cream. All right? That's for Jesus. That's for Jesus. We're going to get into this. Y'all see that? Never forget the difference you made. All right. Jesus. Be offense on today. Be offense. Hello and welcome. Let's jump into today's message, today's live. I'm going to start off us with some scriptures, but first, just wanted to remind you, if you did not catch last week's live, because y'all probably was like, Coach C, we didn't see you last week. You didn't come on live last week. Last week live was a private Zoom call. It wasn't a call, but it was a private Zoom that I did. But that replay is available. It is available. It was too much like a session, and I was giving a lot of information away, sharing a lot of transparency, and so I really was like, let me just get it to the ones who really want it. I want just going to just get it to know anybody. So if you want the replay, I do still have the replay. It's only $15 if you pay through Apple or Cash, or if you pay through PayPal, it's $20. If you're interested in that replay, he won't stop cheating. So that is available. That is available still through replay. But today, I'm like, we coming on today. Today, we're gonna talk about this here. We're gonna talk about this. So, your marriage is a joke. Your marriage is a joke, right? This is what the people are saying. This is what you're hearing. Your marriage is a joke. And I wanted to touch on this topic, a little bit, especially as we are going into this resurrection weekend. Sunday is right around the corner. Come on, Jesus. Sunday is right around the corner. And y'all know, ever since the passing of my grandson, it's almost like the enemy was really, really trying to hold me back from even, speaking about resurrection or talking about resurrection. This time of year, I am usually like, amped all the way up, bragging on Jesus. Y'all know my story. I've shared, how the Lord resurrected my husband, resurrected my marriage. So that's something I always talked about. And this year, it seemed like it was a little bit different. Like the enemy was really, really trying to hold me back from that. But today, baby, we coming in with in a different direction. Resurrection Sunday is on the way. So let's start in some scripture. 1 John chapter 5, verses 4. And it reads, "For every child of God defeats this evil world, and we achieve this victory through our faith." That's 1 John chapter 5, verses 4. All right. The second verse I want to share with you, it comes from Acts chapter 2, verse 17. And it reads, in the last days, God says, "I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young man will see visions. Your old man will dream dreams." I wanted to share these two Bible verses with you at the top, so that you can have a kind of an idea of where we're going with this. In the Bible, one of the prophets, Samuel, he established a school for prophets, also known as Sons of the Prophets, right? He provided a school for prophets to provide a structured environment for training and mentoring and inspiring prophets. This was done to equip individuals with the skills and knowledge necessary to become effective spokespeople for God's word, as well as to counteract, corrupt, and guide the nation back to God's way of life. So basically, Samuel, he had a school where he would train people who were aspiring to be prophets. He would train them. He would mentor them. He would teach them. He would give them guidelines and resources and tools and things of that nature to help prepare them to be a spokesman for God. I've come on here a few times before and shared, and I did this on purpose. Like, I already did my running around. I'm actually in my house now cooking. I wanted to come on looking just like this. just like this. I've shared a few times with you about, how God called me into, the office of prophecy. And that was something that I had I was scared of. I didn't want to do it. Right. And so when God first came to me, I was like, I'm not doing that. And for about 10 years, I really kind of ran from what the Lord was asking of me, even though I had heard him very, very plainly speak to me about, you would be like a Deborah. You would be like a Deborah. Right? And so that was one of the things that how God came to me. Though I'm a prophetess, I don't go by that title. I don't teach or coach by that title. All right. When it comes down to me coaching my wives, I cannot, however, deny the gift that works through me to help my wife clients, but I don't title myself, "Oh, I'm a prophetess this, I'm prophetess this." I don't do that, right? I don't do that. One of the reasons I don't advertise my prophecy or a prophet, me being a prophetess, as a highlight in my business is because I don't want wives coming and signing up for a consultation or coming to, work with Coach T, looking for Coach T to just give them a word, right? I didn't want wives to just sign up with me to just give them a word about their marriage or tell me what's going on with my marriage, or can you tell me, what the Lord said, what thus said the Lord about my marriage? That's not how this works. That's not how this works. I'm a coach. I'm a coach. And I coach wives through the process of this journey when they are dealing with hardship in their marriage. All right. I give them insight, direction, guidance, and understanding, support, and I hold them accountable to their journey. I want to work with wives. I want to work with wives who are more passionate about the journey versus them wanting just a quick word, right? I want to work with wives who are more passionate about the journey versus them just wanting a quick word. Coach C, when my husband coming back? Coach C, you feel like the Lord telling you something about my husband? Coach C, is it anything that you are picking up in the spirit regarding my husband? No, that's what witches do. Okay, that's what witches do. And so I did not want to get into that part where people will see me only as a prophetess, right? You go to, they have plenty of kind of people here on these, internet streets that's doing all kinds of things. A lot of people that I have coached, just by some of the things that they have shared with me from other coaches that they have went to, I could already discern and tell, like, something about that sound a little witchy, sound a little off. We not rolling like that. And so I was really, really big on making sure that people don't just see me as a prophetess, but they see me as a wife coach, right? I want to just make sure I break that part down to you. Naturally and spiritually, understanding the prophetic is something that I have, right? I can discern when things are shifting. I can tell when things are changing. I know when something is kind of moving. I can tell when the time is changing. I can tell when individuals are disguising themselves. I can tell if a person have a mask on. There's just certain things and certain ways that God uses my gift to, help me to be able to deal with things naturally and spiritually. One of the things I always highlight, even as I come on as a coach, is darkness is attractive to light. Darkness is attractive to light. And sometimes when you are the light and you walk into it in full authority, right? People don't know how to perceive you. Can you imagine me walking up like this and saying that I'm a prophetess? Is this what a prophetess look like? Right? So sometimes when people see you and they look at you, they don't really know how to perceive you, but they know something about this person is different, right? Something about her is a little different. Something about her is a little bit, I don't know. I can't really put my hands on it. So because they don't understand you, because they can't figure it out, they join in with the world and they begin to place labels on you. They join in with the world and they begin to make stuff up about you. It don't make sense to them. It don't make sense. And because it doesn't make sense, they want it to make sense. They got to find something to fit them for it to make sense to them. And so they come up with all kinds of things. They start labeling you and saying all types of things or whatever, right? It's resurrection weekend, y'all. And I'm going somewhere with this story. One of the most frustrating things for me on this journey, and one of the things I experienced a lot while going through hardship in my marriage myself, has been people who have misinterpreted or misunderstood me because of their limited understanding of my gift, right? Because of the limited information that they have. They can only go based off of what they see. They see this woman, this natural person in all this light, and you telling me that she's going to stand for a marriage that biblically she can easily walk away from. Biblically, she can easily say, shut this down. But she's doing this because of what she said that she felt like the Lord has told her. These Christian peoples, that they always be talking about what God said, and God said this, and God said this. And I don't know if God is really telling her that. Sometimes people, they want something so bad, and because they want something so bad, they'll start to think of all kinds of things. They'll believe all types of stuff. They'll start to believe all types of stories. And so they may be thinking that God is talking to them, but really they're talking to themselves. I do not think God will tell this person to stay or be in a marriage like this when she could easily just walk away. That don't seem biblical. That don't seem normal. That don't seem like something that our God would do. Our God is not like that. Our God is a loving God. He won't make you go through that type of hardship. He won't make you go through that type of pain. He won't make you deal with something like that so hard. I don't think that God has told her that. I think that she is telling herself that, and she done drove herself crazy, and now she thinks she is hearing God speak to her, and she's hearing God tell her these things. This is a true story, y'all. This have been my experience. This have been what people have said to me, right? But because they are limited with the information, and they're limited with my gift, and they're limited with what thus said the Lord to me, and all they see is I'm showing up as this obedient woman of God, doing only what he has asked me to do. I'm crazy. I'm delusional. Something must be wrong with you. Right? I'm getting worked up. I'm getting worked up. Something has to be off with you. Because ain't no way God has asked you to do something like that. Ain't no way God has asked you to put up with something like that. Ain't no way God has told you to do that. No, you're not hearing right. You think that's what he's telling you to do. You think that's what he's told you to do, but God didn't tell you to do that. God, no, I don't believe that. God not telling you to do that. Right? This is a true story. Yes, I am a prophetess. I know I don't look like it, especially on here, especially today, right? But what does a prophetess look like? What does a spokesman for God look like? How should a spokesman for the kingdom show up? Right? What should they look like? So no, I am a prophetess. I'm also a wife coach, right? I'm a minister. Those are all titles. I don't get caught up in titles. My real title, I am a daughter of God first. I'm a woman of God, but I'm his daughter first, right? I'm a daughter of the high living God first. I'm a woman of God. But because I don't show up like the average way people perceive Christians to be, oh, that's not what a prophet is supposed to look like. That's not what a minister is supposed to look like. That's not how they look. I've been X'd out. And wife, if you are carrying this type of oil, you're going to be X'd out too. If you have been chosen to ride this ride, they're going to think you crazy too. They're going to think something is wrong with you too. I'm not average. Neither are you, wife. Ain't nothing average about what God has called me to do. Right? We are anointed. We are anointed. And because we are not what the world will view us to be, we are exiled. And so to the world, your marriage is a joke. This is a joke. People are laughing at you. People are laughing at you. People are shaming you in the background. People are trying to figure out what is wrong with this person. Why won't they just let go? Why won't they just move on? Why they won't just cut the rope? Why they just won't cut their ties? How many times a person has to tell you, I don't want you before you move on? How many times a person has to tell you that this ain't working out? Why would they just continue to humiliate themselves like that? The Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27, but God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. I've been labeled many things on this journey, right? I've been labeled many things. And wife, if you are on this journey, you're going to be labeled many things too. Right? You're going to be labeled many things. I've been looked at sideways. Girl, you all right? Girl, are you all right? I've been looked at sideways and funny. I've been, like, do you think you need some help? Do you need to, maybe, they can prescribe something for you? Hey, Jesus! They can prescribe something for you because something ain't right here. All these things have simply taken place because these people were not there when God spoke to me. All these things have taken place because all these ones that's looking at me sideways, crooked, and upside down, flipped, because they was not in the room when God gave me my instructions. Because they were not in place when God spoke to me. And because of the world we live in and the access that the world has to many things, people can think what they want to think of you. They can put together their own. Oh, okay, this is her. Oh, okay, this is what, all right. Well, maybe okay, this is her fan. Oh, okay, so this is her lineage. Oh, okay, so she got something going on. She's missing a couple screws. They got access to all this stuff that they can get on the internet. They got access to all this thing, but they lack the wisdom of God. They lack the wisdom of God. It's supposed to be this sophisticated structure of how you're supposed to show up and how you're supposed to be and what it's supposed to look like and what a marriage is supposed to look like. And this is not how it's supposed to go. And this is not how it's supposed to be. The world has deemed what's morally right and what's morally wrong. The world has deemed and has put together what they feel like a marriage is supposed to look like, what they feel like what a minister is supposed to look like, what they feel like what a prophetess is supposed to look like. The world has deemed what this is supposed to look like. Oh, you're not supposed to be doing this, or you shouldn't say it like that, or you shouldn't do it like this, or you shouldn't walk like that, or you shouldn't dress like this, or you shouldn't be in nothing like that. This is the world we live in. And everybody has something to say about it. Our Heavenly Father created the heavens and the earth. All this belongs to Him. Guess what? He is sovereignty. He can do whatever He wants. He can make it however He wants it. He can make this go however, which way He sees fit, because He's a sovereign God. I had recently heard this preacher say, it's crazy how Satan, this world's supposed to be his world, and he don't even have the keys to his own home. If this is his world, then why is he limited in it? If this is his world, then why he's so limited in his world? Why there are only certain things that he can do? Why there are only certain things that he can get away with? Why do he still have to go to the Father on your behalf to do certain things if this is his world? People who have limited information about your assignment, their opinions and their ideas of you are irrelevant. It does not matter. They do not count. And I don't care how much older they are or what they are. Your mama them, your auntie them, your friends, your cousin them, family members, church members, whoever. People who have a marriage ministry, even them. Because there are some people who have a marriage ministry and it's supposed to be just like this. It has to be just like this. Because if it's not like this, then that ain't right. Right? how many degrees they have, how many therapists they recommend, if they did not get Jesus a rhema word about what God told you, their opinions and their thoughts of you and your marriage does not matter. Period. It does not matter. I don't care what the situation is looking like presently. I don't care what you are in presently. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how the odds are against you, how all the darts are thrown at you. I don't care how much it feels like you are defeated. It does not matter. Their opinions, their thoughts, and their ideas of you, it doesn't matter. If they was not there to get a word from the Lord themselves, and they heard what the Lord said to you, it does not matter what they think. People are quick to put their mouth on something they have no clue about. They have no clue. They're quick to put their mouth on something, and I wouldn't do that, and I would, and I'm not gonna. You won't. But you don't know what God said to me. You won't. But you don't know what God is doing in me. You don't know how God is raising me. You don't know what God has ordained for me. You don't know what God has chosen for me. You don't know what God has picked out for me. You don't know the type of training that's needed for me. You don't know. So you can't say what you won't do because you wasn't there when God told me what I'm supposed to do. You wasn't there. So stop writing a check that your mouth can't cash because you don't know. They do not know. They do not know. They are not like us, and they do not know. So because they do not know, they challenge you, and they look at you strange, and they think something is wrong with you when you have made up in your mind to do something that they could probably not ever do in a million years. They couldn't even stand in a lineup next to what you are doing. But yet, they have so much to say. People better be careful. You better be careful about something God has told a person to do, and you have such an opinion about it. You better be careful when God has given a person specific instructions to do a thing, and you have such an opinion about it. You better be careful on what you say out of your mouth and what comes out of your lips about somebody that God has ordained or has anointed or has appointed to do something specifically, but you are telling them something different because you don't understand it. Don't let people make you feel crazy about something you know that only God has told you to do. Don't let people shake you down off of what God has told you to do. Don't let people make you feel incompetent, make you feel weird, make you feel strange, make you feel like something is wrong with you because it don't line up with what their logic is. It doesn't line up with their spirit. They don't fit right in my spirit. They don't sit well in my spirit. Don't let people talk you out of something that you know God has specifically told you to do. And because they don't get it and they don't understand it, and you still trying to figure it out, and you still walking in this thing, and you saying, well, it really ain't really looking right, and it really ain't looking like I thought it would look, and it really ain't. Don't let people talk you out of what God has told you to do. I don't care how foolish it may look to them. What did God tell you to do? They thought Noah was crazy too. When he was telling everybody, listen, we got to build this boat. we got to build this boat. We got to build this boat. Y'all don't understand this, but it's a storm coming. We got to build this boat. They thought he's a drunk. He's a this. He's a this man is crazy. He don't know what he's talking about. He don't know what he's saying. He don't know what's going on. This man is a drunk. He's a until that day that storm came. And then everybody was like, wait. Maybe he did know what he was saying. Wait. Maybe he did know what he was talking about. Wait. Everybody was concerned when a storm came. But ain't nobody was listening. Nobody had nothing to say when he was coming to give them the warning. Right? Jesus said, a prophet is not without honor except in his own hometown and among his own people and in his own household. Jesus himself said, listen, they ain't gonna listen to you. they ain't gonna believe you. And it's gonna more than likely be people the closest to you. You gonna tell them something. You gonna give them a warning about something. You gonna say, hey, I wouldn't do this, or hey, I wouldn't do that, or hey, I wouldn't go that route. And they not gonna listen. It be the ones the closest to you who ain't paying you no mind. You ain't gonna get no honor because they see you as regular. They see you as normal. Oh, he's just the carpenter's son. Oh, that's just Joseph's son. They see you as a normal person. They don't see you as nothing more than that. So because of that, but Resurrection Sunday is en route. Sunday is on the way, y'all. So today, I wanted to put to rest. Like I just told y'all earlier on, this is rest day. This is rest day. This is the day that Jesus was in the grave. It was quiet. Everybody was laying down because everything that had happened on Good Friday, it was like, oh my God, what's going on here? But baby, on Saturday, it was super duper quiet. People were resting. People trying to figure out what was going on. We're going to put to rest today, right? We're going to put to rest today the notion of what others think of you in your messed up marriage. As messed up as it is, as much of a joke it may look to them, right? As whatever the thoughts and things that come through their mind concerning them, when it comes down to your marriage, that part no longer matters after today. It no longer matters after today. All right? When God signs you up for this course, when God asks you to do this assignment, there are a few things you need to be aware of. And I feel like after I share these things and give this to you, maybe it'll make a little bit more sense or not. But one of the things I want you to walk away with today is it does not matter what they think. It does not matter what they say. It does not matter how much of a joke your marriage may look to them. You keep doing what God has asked you to do. Now, these type of assignment, there are things that come with this assignment. When God asks you to stay in that messed up marriage, right? That may look like a joke to many people, that you have, you're gaining no benefit from, you're getting nothing out of this. There are certain things that you have to know, all right? It comes with benefits, clauses, positives, and negatives. All right. When God signs you up for this course, for this assignment, there are some benefits, there are some clauses, there are some positives, and there are some negatives. All right. So I want to just go through a few of those with you. The benefits. Benefits falls under you understanding your kingdom purpose. A lot of times people say, well, is my marriage supposed to be my purpose? No, your marriage is not necessarily your purpose. But through your marriage hardship, there are some things that you will learn and that you can use for the purpose that God has sent you here. Right? So understanding your kingdom purpose, promotion takes place. These are part of the benefits, naturally and spiritually. A lot of times wives experience promotion in these types of situations and these types of, when you were in a unhealthy marriage like this, they would experience promotion naturally and spiritually in a different type of way. So things that would not naturally look like it's supposed to happen, or things that look like that's not supposed to work out will work out. They get insight and promptings on the spiritual world. A lot of times when you are going through, or when you are in this type of assignment, the Lord, he sends his advocate, the Holy Spirit, to prompt you about the things that's taking place in the spiritual world. To prompt you about the things that's taking place in the spiritual realm. excuse me, to prompt you about he gives you secrets about the things that the enemy is doing, right? So these are some of the benefits that you get when you are on this type of assignment. The clauses. These are stipulations of the promise. Stipulations of the promise. Things that you have to do in order to see the assignment come to full fruition, right? Example, this is you showing up. This is you doing your work. This is you investing into your assignment. A lot of times people be looking at this part like, I don't really want to do that. Yes, investing is part of the clause, right? This is you maintaining your integrity. This is you maintaining your holiness and your sanctification. This is you continuing to do your own personal work. There are clauses to the assignment, right? And then the third, there are the positives and the negatives. Now, this is the area where some things you will love about the assignment, and then there are some things that you will absolutely hate, right? I call this the work part, right? I call this the work part. This portion of it is, I feel like, a person who is taking like a workout class, right? And you saying, you know what, I want to take this class. I want to take this class. I plan to lose 50 pounds, right? And so there's work to do in order for you to lose those 50 pounds, right? That's part of the process. And so you look forward to the results, but you don't necessarily look forward to the work and what's required. A lot of times when doing this assignment, this falls up underneath refinement, replacement, repetition, reflection, resolving, resigning, redirection, regaining, rethinking, resilience, replenishing, restoring, and resurrection takes place here. These are the area underneath the positive and the negatives where God is saying, I'm going to get the work done through you so you can see the results on the other side of this. Wife, your marriage is your classroom. Your husband and you are the lesson. It's not just your husband. Because a lot of times people think it's just about the husband. No. Your marriage is a classroom. Your husband and you are the lesson. And your teacher is the Holy Spirit. So when chosen for this class, you have to be very, very headstrong, right? You have to be very, very headstrong because your mental state will be challenged beyond challenge, right? Your mental state will be challenged. It's not about the thinking quick rather than thinking through things. Right? A lot of times people are looking for like a quick. How quick are you on your feet? How quick are you with things? But with this situation, you have to be more. Let me think through this. let me see this. Let me see about this. What you may think is something that you're supposed to do may not necessarily be the thing that you're supposed to be doing. What you think is the thing to do may not be what God will want you to do. I think I should respond this way. And God may say, no, I want you to respond totally opposite of that, right? And so a lot of times, people think that this journey is a quick, let me get what I need, boom, 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 and that's it. That's not how this goes. That's not how this works, right? That's not how this works. You will be ridiculed by others. You will be ridiculed by others. But this is why it's so important for you to understand and know if this is something that I'm supposed to be doing. I know it sounds good. It got all these benefits. It got all these things that's connected to it. But is this something that God is asking me to do? It does not mean because I am married and I am going through a hardship in my marriage that I'm supposed to go this route, right? And a lot of times I feel like wives need to understand that. And I always tell wives, this is not for everybody. This type of journey is not for everybody. 3 questions. Did God choose you for this course? Did he choose you for this assignment? What were the instructions he gave you, if so? If he chose you for this assignment, what were the instructions he gave you? Why were you chosen for this assignment? Now, once you are fully aware of those three things and you can fully answer those questions in its fullness, this is where the wavering for you stops. Because there's no more going up, down, up, down, up, down. Oh, I think, oh, I'm wondering, oh, I'm, So when people say your marriage is a joke, it might sting you a little bit, the way they said it, but you shouldn't waver in that because you are fully aware that you are supposed to be in this place. You are fully aware that I am stable, I am firm, found in this place. This is what I'm supposed to be at. I know that God told me to be in this place. I know that I'm supposed to be in this place, right? Now that you are fully conscious about your assignment, and the moment you say yes to the assignment, the course begins. The assignment starts, right? But once these questions have been answered and established, now you ought to be sure of what you're supposed to be doing. One of the things that a lot of times, I don't even think my wife's clients always necessarily know it, but some of them who are inclined and who are aware, without me even trying to be prophetic, or without me even trying to, teach get a word from the Lord or whatever. Sometimes during my sessions, a word falls from heaven. The Lord will put something in my spirit to share with the wise. Sometimes, certain things will, start to come up out of me, and I would share, with wise. And one of the things I remember the Lord shared with me a long time ago, and one of the reasons why I think I ran for 10 years from the time of myself was because I know what prophets had to go through in order to be the voice piece for the Lord, right? Their training was not necessarily an easy training, right? They ain't just like go out and say, okay, we're going to do a couple of, sit-ups. We're going to run around the track a couple of times. We're going to, do a couple of, little trainings here and there, whatever, and that's it. No. Not only was they training very, very hard, but it was for a long, extensive amount of time. They was not trained in a day. They was not trained in a week. They was not trained in a month. They was not trained in a year. They had to go through a lot of training to become and be what the Lord wanted them to be. If you're going to be a representative of the Lord and you're going to be speaking for him, there's a certain type of process you have to go through. there's a sanctification and a purification test that you have to go through. There's a fire that you have to go through. Come on, Jesus. There's a certain type of walk you have to walk. There's a certain type of things that you have to be stripped from. There's certain things that have to die in you. There's certain things that you have to walk through because you cannot show up as you. You have to show up as a representative of him. I think it talks about that. I think one of the verses in the gospel where John would say, Lord, help me to decrease and you increase. You're going to have to be decreased in order for you to be a representative of him, right? And so a lot of times, a lot of whites, when they sign up for my curriculum and they're coming in looking to, my God, my husband is doing this. My husband is acting like this. My husband acting like this. They have no idea that God may have been calling them to a certain area and they like to use for kingdom purposes. And he's training, and it's a gift in them that he's trying to pull out of them. We all can prophesy, right? We read that earlier on in Acts 2:17. That's something that we all can do, even though we're not all necessary prophets, but we all have the gift to prophesy, right? We all have that gift. And a lot of times, the whites that I work with, they have prophetic gifts in them that God is trying to bring out. God is trying to perfect. God is trying to refine. God is trying to do something with that gift in them. And so they're thinking that my marriage, and God is like, yeah, I'm gonna deal with your marriage stuff, but it's something I'm trying to do in you as well. I'm trying to equip something in you. I'm trying to build something up in you. I'm trying to do something in you. So this is one of the reasons why I always say, don't get caught up in what people are saying when it comes down to your marriage, because God has a specific training, a tailor-made training just for you. He has a tailor-made training that he uses specifically for women, wise, prophetic woman, prophetic representatives of him, right? That he has to train you in. Okay? So this is why I say don't get caught up in the mess. Your marriage is a joke. Yeah, to them. It may be a joke to them, but someone else, they get to see Jesus Christ in it. Come on, Jesus. Your marriage may be a joke to them, but for somebody else, they see Jesus in this. Man, how that girl doing? Man, how she done deal with that? Man, she got over that. Man, they went through that. Man, and they still together. Man, what in the world? I'm trying to see. Don't get caught up in the crossfires with people and what they think and how they label you and what they see. They don't know what God is working in you. They don't know what God is perfecting in you. They don't know what kind of gifts God is pulling out of you. And he's using your marriage. And this is one of the reasons why I always tell wives, your marriage, this is the assignment. This is your training ground. I know your husband did some messed up stuff, and God gonna deal with that too. I know your husband has hurt you in some type of ways, and God gonna deal with that too. There's some things that you didn't necessarily do right in the marriage, and God is gonna deal with that too. You are the lesson. Your husband is the lesson, and your teacher is the advocate. He is the one that's guiding you and training you and teaching you and saying, no, don't do this. No, don't say that. No, don't go this way. And you're learning different skills and you are perfecting your gift for the kingdom. Today, we are putting to rest the foolishness about what other people think about you in your marriage. That's not on you. That's not on you. They got a book out. One of my clients had just shared with me called "Let Them." I think it was Mel. It's on Amazon. I can't think of the person's name, but she has a book out, and it's called "Let Them." Let them think whatever they want. That wasn't they wasn't there when God gave you the assignment. Let them say whatever they want to say, because they wasn't there when God gave you specific instructions. Let them think whatever they want to think. I want to do that. I want to do. Let them whatever they want to do. Let them think that. Let them feel whatever they want to feel. Whatever they think. That's on them. That's not on you. Somebody else's marriage is being resurrected because of what they saw you go through and what you get through in yours. Somebody else is being blessed because of you being obedient to what people think is strange. That's strange. That's ain't nothing. Something like that ain't right. I don't think that's you're not supposed to be doing something like that. But somebody else is being blessed. How do you think that we are drawing people to Him? How do you think we are drawing when we are authentically drawing people to Him? We ain't out here being fake. We ain't out here trying to do things that's out of our range, that's out of our grace. We ain't out here just repeating something somebody else has said. We are authentically drawing others to Him. How do you think we're doing that? Y'all know I get worked up. I get worked up, Jesus. I get worked up about that. How you gonna tell me so? Even if it don't look right to you, heck, sometimes it didn't look right to me either. Heck, I would totally agree with you. No, this ain't right. No, it is messed up. No, that is. But I can't let that keep getting to my head. You remember I said you gotta be headstrong, because if I let that keep on getting to my head, I'm going to abort the assignment. I'm going to not go through with it. I'm not going to finish to the end. Your marriage is a joke. Yeah, it may look like a joke to you, but I'm on an assignment. And I got to see this thing through, my boy. I got to see this thing through, my girl. You got to see what's on the other side of this. Don't let people make you think something is wrong with you because it don't look like what they think it's supposed to look like. You don't know how many people that you're blessing. You don't know how many people are looking at you. You are the epistle. You are their story. You are their Bible. You are the Jesus that they're looking at. You don't know what they're looking at and saying, even if, come on, Jesus, hey, it don't work out. Even if your marriage take a turn, even if things don't go the way they go, God used you to do what He needed you to do for that assignment. To get the lesson over, to teach somebody else, to show somebody else, to encourage somebody else. I was holding on because you was holding on. I kept going because you kept going. I kept showing up because you kept showing up. I kept coming to this place because you kept coming to this place. I kept doing it because you kept doing it. You don't know what your story is. Your marriage is a joke to them. It may be a joke to them, but you are Jesus to somebody else. Your marriage is showing people how to keep showing up. Your marriage is showing you that we can get up. Your marriage is showing that we can keep going. Your marriage is showing that I still have the strength. Your marriage is showing that even yea, though you slay me, I'ma still get up and do what he's telling me to do. Your marriage is showing others Jesus. So don't let these people try to sit here and make you feel some type of way about something that they don't understand, and because they were not in the room when God spoke to you and told you to do this. They wasn't there. They wasn't there. So the thing about the assignment is, you may do the work, right? And somebody else will be blessed by it. Okay? You went through the hard stuff, so someone else don't have to go through it. You had to go through all the hell and all the, oh God, oh Jesus, oh Lord. So you could be somebody else's cheat sheet. Don't give your assignment over to people who don't understand what God has asked you to do. Don't give your assignment over to men because they don't have a spiritual understanding of what God is saying. Because they are looking at you to show up a certain kind of way. You supposed to look a certain type of way. You supposed to dress a certain kind of way. You supposed to not look like that. And you ain't supposed to talk like that. You know, I'm real country and geeky and whatever else you want to say. I talk fast and everything else. People, are you supposed to talk? You don't articulate your words. You can't pronounce words right. Is that one of the things that's gonna disqualify me from being the voice piece of God? Was it Moses who had a stuttering issue? Don't let people stop you from doing what it is that God has told you to do. And this is why I always say, this ain't for everybody. This is not for everybody's broken marriage. Oh, I'm going through a marriage hardship and we need to communicate better. We need to, This is not for everybody. This is a specific tailor-made training that God is using for that wife. And he's using this training for her marriage to help her pull out some prophetic gifts, some other spiritual gifts, and some things that she's going to need to do and learn for the purpose, the kingdom assignments that he has sent her here for. You have to know that this is what God told you to do. You have to know this is what God has called you to. When they put Jesus Christ on that cross Friday night, they weren't expecting him to get up on early Sunday morning, but he did. When God asks you to stay in this unhealthy marriage and to see it through, you wouldn't expect it on the other side. I wasn't. No, let me take that back. I simply believe God in the beginning, right? I simply believe God at what he told me. I simply went by what God told me. My husband came back home. Everything that God had told me, everything that God had said, he came back home. But then he came back home and maybe like a year, almost a year and a half, 2 years later, that thing switched. And I was like, wait, what happened? Because I'm confused. And that's when I started to like question, like, are we still on this assignment? Are we still in this together, Jesus? Are we still doing this? You got to see it through, my girl. You got to see it through. See, a lot of times people think that the assignment is just a one-time thing. There is an ending. The Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything, right? There's a beginning, there's an end, there's a time to be built up, there's a time to be tore down, there's a time to laugh, there's a time to cry, there's a time to harvest, there's a time to sow. There's a time for everything. And you have to know the timing of your assignment. You have to know which season and which place and which session you are in when you are on the assignment. So there are different facets and layers and different things that you have to learn on this assignment. And that was where I was at. I was like, wait, because I thought we had, like, Jesus, I thought this was over. Like, I thought, okay, he come home, that's it. I'm going to help people in their marriage, and I teach people to hold on to their faith, and we're going to see this thing through, and then that's that. I'm like, you think that's it? You don't think it's more that I want to teach you in this? You don't think it's more that you need to learn? Because as you are learning more, I'm teaching and pulling something else out of you that you're going to use to help other people draw near to me. Why do y'all think we are here? What was the whole purpose of Jesus dying on the cross? The whole purpose of this thing is to get the people to come to him. He did this for us. So we're not just here because, oh, my marriage, my husband. There's benefits to that part. And God wants you to enjoy your marriage. But there's another side of this that God's saying, let me get something out of this from you. Let me build you up. Let me teach you something in this. Let me train you in this kind of way. Let me show you some things in this thing. They think your marriage is a joke, but your marriage is showing people Jesus. They think your marriage is a joke, but people see Jesus in your marriage, right? What others think of you concerning your marriage, that ain't none of your business. That ain't none of your business. You have to keep getting up and doing your part. That's it. They look at Coach, she like she was crazy. You a prophetess? You a my husband. Sometimes he still think something ain't right with this girl. Something you said, God told you that? Did God really tell you that? Are you sure God tell you to do that? I'll tell you quick. God said don't do this. Or God said don't do that. I feel like God is telling me something different. I don't think we're supposed to go this direction. Don't get caught up in what people don't understand, because they was not there when God gave you specific instructions. People can look at you and say what they want to say to you concerning your marriage. And let that be on them. The Bible said you better be careful about what you put your mouth on when you dealing with one of God's people. You better be careful about coming against one of God's prophets. You better be careful of what you say about God's prophets, because God have a real problem with the ones that He has ordained to do this type of work. And you got something to say. If you don't know, just go mind your business. Just go mind your business. If you can't figure out, you don't understand, go mind your business. Stay in your own lane. Because you don't know what God is doing. You don't know what God is teaching. You don't know what God is working up. You don't know how God is doing what God is doing in that husband in the background. You don't know. So if you don't know, don't put your mouth on it. My only encouragement today is for wives to put to rest what others think about you concerning your marriage. Your marriage is a joke to them. So what? It's Jesus to somebody else, though. And our God, He's an awesome God. Our God, He went on a cross on Friday. He laid in the grave on Saturday. And then early Sunday morning resurrection, He got up again. The whole purpose of this is whatever it is that He's telling you to do. Whatever the assignment. Jesus was on an assignment. He was here for 33 years. And out of those 33 years, He only did His ministry for 3 years. And out of 3 years, He did it all the way to perfection to the very end. He completed His assignment. It's finished today, wife. Put to rest what people think about you concerning your marriage. Put to rest what they think concerning your marriage, what you shouldn't do. Girl, you crazy. Let them think whatever they want to think. It's a joke to them. It's Jesus to somebody else. And you have no idea the life that you are impacting. You have no idea the wisdom that you are gaining. You have no idea the things that God is equipping in you and He's in store. He's trusting you with. You have no idea the things that He's building up in you. You have no idea the resilience that you will be able to have, the endurance, the weight that you will be able to carry, the problems that you will be able to solve, the wisdom that you will be able to talk about and share with other people, the knowledge that you will be able to give. You have no idea what He's doing in that unhealthy marriage, in that messed up, broken marriage, with that crazy husband that's cheating and that's not home and that's not doing. You have no idea what is happening. You have no idea the people that is watching. You have no idea how much of a witness you are being. You have no idea that you are drawing so many people to Him. Stay the course. Complete the assignment. See it through all the way to the other side. See it through. And if you need help doing that, I want to encourage you to sign up to work with Coach T. All right? You can do so at www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Listen, if you are not on my email list, I want to encourage you to get on my email list. I send an email every week. Even when I don't show up, I send an email, right? I send an email just to encourage you, just to remind you, just to help you to continue to stay the course. This right here, this is school of the hard knocks. This is definitely school of the hard knocks. And we train a little bit differently over here. Don't let people stop you from being obedient to what God has asked you to do. No matter how messed up it is, no matter what it looked like. And listen, even the ones who care for you, because there are some who simply just care, like, oh my God, I don't want you to have to go through that. Family members, friends, they care for you. They don't want you to have to go through this kind of heartache. They don't want you to have to suffer through some of these types of things. But even those people, you have to say, look, Jesus had to tell his disciple, look, get behind me, sir, because you interrupting God's plan right now. Get behind me, Satan, because right now the devil is using you to come between what God has sent me to do. So even what the ones who love you, they will sometimes get in the way of what the Lord is asking of you. And you got to tell them to get behind you. You got to tell them to get behind you. So if you are a wife and you are ready to start doing your work, if you are a wife and you're saying, listen, I'm still dealing with the emotional part of it, sign up and let's start doing your work. I just need somebody to, keep me held accountable to this assignment, sign up and start doing your work. Or if you're saying, I am ready to actually start doing my work. Me, Coach C, I have a curriculum for wives that I coach wives for 3 months. It's a 13-step curriculum that I walk wives through to help them to get to the other side of this, to help them see what is it that God is trying to show me, to help them get to that part that God is trying to show them. It's not just about my marriage, but there's something else that God is trying to pull through me. I'm very similar to Samuel. When Samuel, he teaches his prophets, I teach wives, and I teach wives from a prophetic perspective, because I help them to understand what is God telling you to do in this. What is God asking you to do next? And this is the investment. This is the investment that I encourage wives to sign up for her buoyancy boost. All right. But if you want to just start off and say, listen, I just want to be held accountable, sign up and start doing your work today. www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Listen, also, like I said, if you still want to get the live from last week, it was a private live that was did on last week. He won't stop cheating. He won't stop cheating. That is still available. I will share the links down below for you to purchase. That is only $15. Only $15 if you pay through Apple, and $20 if you pay through PayPal. All right. You can sign up for that. In the meantime, I hope y'all have a happy Resurrection Sunday. Listen, he is risen. It is finished. Wife, and you going to be all right. Your marriage is a joke to them, but it's Jesus to somebody else. All right. Be encouraged. I'll talk to you soon. Blessings.